Hey guys, this is Introducing Emmy and we're back with another Redline Tuesday. This one was sent to me by somebody named Nia, so there you go. That's all the information I have on them. But we're going to do this one just slightly different today, and the only difference really is that I've put a gray filter over top of the blue lining stuff, just because it looks nice. I don't know. I hope it'll make it a little easier to see. I think sometimes it gets a little glary, but I can like turn it down a little bit too. So this one, I just want to sort of start by drawing sort of like perspective lines a little bit. This is sort of the direction that everything is going. It's not exactly, I mean, these aren't like hella precise or anything. Perspective lines, they're just guidelines for kind of like where we're looking at, or what we're looking at here, so that we kind of have an idea of like the flow of like everything is colluding to this negative space. And then the other thing I wanted to do is, you know, honestly, I don't think there's that much wrong with this. It's a little stylized, which is not wrong. I shouldn't have said, there's nothing really wrong with this, but it's stylized. No, I just, I think a few things are a little off, but they're not major things. So let's start with the torso, because you know me, I like to start with the torso and the clavicle and the neck. So this is what I mean by little things. This thigh, the width of this thigh is not the same as this one. I realize this one is sinking back a little bit more in perspective, but it still should probably have just a little bit more on top. These are kind of nitpicky things. I actually really like this drawing, so, and the user didn't send any specific guidelines of things that they wanted red lines, so I'm just gonna give it the old once over. I really like these kind of like long shoes. They sort of remind me a little bit of the shoes I do for my aliens, my grays. And I'm not gonna be like, no. They have to be curvy with 16-inch heels. You know what this art reminds me of? Don't worry, it's a good thing. It reminds me of sort of the style they're going for in the new Batgirl series, the new 52 Batgirl series, the one where she's got like the fanny pack sort of thing going on, like her utility belt is a little more fanny pack-ish. I don't know, this style it kind of is giving me those feels. I'm not sure who the artist is or artistes who were working on that one, so I can't be like, oh, it looks like this artist's work. Oh man, wouldn't that be the tits if I got contacted to Redline for DC? The tits. I actually don't know like how they do that, like how they, because the editors probably, wouldn't you think? The editors are the guys who look at it and go, Superman is 17 feet tall and he should only be 15 feet tall, or whatever. Whatever they need fixed. I'm just thinking here. I'm coming back to you, foot. I do like this foot. have to figure out where the actual bottom of the shoe is. Okay, there it is. My red line sometimes covers up the whole world. So I think that, as much as I do like the other heel, I think that might be a little more accurate. I also kind of like the like that sort of shape. I think it's got a nice little contrast. Okay. So I think the neck should be pushed in just a tiny bit. And that's not to be like, I think all necks should be skinnier, but I just, for this, I think it's her whole head is kind of pushed a little too far over on her, excuse me, on her shoulders. Can you tell I just woke up? I just had my morning cup of coffee and I'm barely functioning right now. So the perfect time to do red lines. With that said, I'm gonna just real quickly by the way, this user sent me their full like open PSD file, which is fine. If you want to do that, go for it. And I would say maybe I'm gonna do it on my version and not yours. Oh my goodness, I am like losing my voice. I would say just move this eye over just the tiniest bit to get it off of the side contour there of the face. I don't think it... My only thing is I kind of like how she has like a long, like a wide face. I think it adds the style. But I think from this angle, it might need to get tucked in just ever so slightly. And that way it gets away. Oops, erasing on the wrong layer. So yeah, it just kind of opens up this area over here. And you don't have like a whole lot of lines like coming together right on the edge of her face. I love the hair. Hair is magnifico. I like her tongue. Yeah, I really like this character. Like, I like the shape of their skull. I like everything. Like, all the things about this character. I just think they have a neat silhouette and structure. I'm just kind of like roughing. This is not so much a red line anymore. Like up here, this is just for my own. So, hold on. Let me get the tongue and everything in here, because when I go to fix the... So my only thing And this might completely change the character's face, and I'm a little nervous about doing this, but it is something to think about. So the reason I erased the jaw was I feel like rather than her jaw hinging open, like the way it would like rock kind of like down and under, it feels more like the jaw is just going straight down, like the bottom jaw. So what I would recommend is cinch the hinge, not the hinge, but like the jawline, that right angle where your bottom jaw is. I would cinch that up a little more. Like, this is so teeny and nitpicky, but it might just help with everything. I'm also not totally sure like how far out her chin is going, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll just kind of make some educating. I'm making her tongue like way bigger than it is, but that's okay. Okay, so yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. So now that we've got this head going for us here, I'm actually going to move it. I'm going to move it just back ever so slightly, and that way it looks like it's coming, it's sitting further over on the shoulders, like it's a little off center. And I'm actually going to do it on this one too, and I'll even take the hand with it just so I can kind of prove my point. I'm going to turn off the bottom layer. I realize I'm kind of like butchering this drawing a little bit, but you're just going to have to trust in me. Just going to have to come with me for the journey. Boop. Okay. Alrighty, and let's do, let me collapse this down together. So I realize I kind of like yacked off her hand there, but don't worry, we're gonna get back to it. So real quick, I realize I haven't done the skateboard yet, and I'm kind of waiting on that, but for now, her hand is actually like in an, or like her arm in the background is in an okay location, her left arm. So I'm just gonna go and like real quickly feel it out. Or what I should say is like her arm is in a fine location for like where the skateboard is gonna be. So this is like a really, oops, it would help if I turned on the, this is a really common thing I see where this again might be part of the style, but I would be careful where you kind of put this hump. That should be like back up here a little bit more. So just sort of, and if you want to have it more curved, that's fine. Let me curve mine too. We're all learning together. Okay. I'm also, normally when I do my thumbs, I go like, I like put a really hard line right there, but I realize you might be going for something a little softer. However, just remember the palm has quite a bit of meat, so be careful where you put this line. Just real quick, for my own peace of mind, let me show you here. So this is like forearm coming up to the wrist. You have a little like platform sort of. And then your palm is kind of shaped like a little foot, like a little triangle sort of. And then your thumb comes off of that, and then this is, we're looking like like this way. We're looking like straight on at like a side profile. So then your knuckles, gotta go fast, are right there. And then you have your fingers. And what I find, and also your thumb does not extend beyond where that knuckle line is. So that's sort of, and it's good to kind of keep that, like even if you're going for something like really stylized, and this isn't even that stylized, but you know what I mean, even if you're going for something a little like out of the box, I would like recommend keeping those basics, because when you start to like pull apart your characters to the point where, like, unless they're like aliens or otherworldly creatures, whatever, but if you're doing humans, there's like little things like that you like keeping the thumb below the knuckle line is something good to do. Otherwise the thumb starts to look a little bit like a mutant fifth digit or something, and the character doesn't even have a thumb, or you know what I mean. You got me, you're feeling me. But then again, we're artistes, so if you just want to throw all that shit out the window, like, do it. Do it. Be the next Andy Warhol. You know, I went to Andy Warhol's grave when I was still living in Pennsylvania. His grave is down there near Pittsburgh. I took a can of soup and left it on his grave with all the other billions of cans of soup, and paid homage to the original club kid nutball himself. Yes, this is not at all how I would normally draw fingers, but I think that I kind of like it for this character and everything, so that's fine. And then let me real quick go in here and get a okay, sorry. Sometimes I redraw over my own anatomy. What? Well, then I will save it as a temp file. Makes me nervous. So late at night, which is when I'm recording this, I guess it's like really early in the morning, my computer will do backups. And when it is backing up, you can't actually save anything. I know, like, it's kind of a debacle. And because of that, I have tiny little panic attacks, and I have to resave it as a different file. Very unprofessional of me to show that, though. Okay, that's definitely broken. Don't do what Emmy does. There we go. That's a little better. Okay, so we are definitely going to need to do a little filtering here so that we can actually see. what is going on here. I normally don't like doing this because it takes a little time, but oops, and I just moved my whole interface. Okay. Professional. So there is like a lot of tension between these two lines, but I'll just we'll just go with the flow. So big deal. So now we've got that arm. Also notice that I was about to say, look how good or how close I got these two these wrists. I got their width correct. I did not get them correct. This should be a little thinner to match her left arm. Scratch, scratch, scratch my chin. Okay. So that's good. So now we're going to do her fingers. Try to come in really close here. So this whole area, I do this a lot when I'm working on my comic. This whole area, I'm going to just throw another color over it just so we're going so deep here. This is just so I can see the reds. It can be any color, but so the thing that kind of bothered me in the first one, in the original I should say, was the fingers. They don't match, and they're kind of like, the joints are a little off and everything, and I don't know if they really... Ooh. They do look kind of like the other fingers, though, I'll give it that, but that's not what we're here for. That is not what we're here for. Okay, so we're going to do our very own. Oops, let's go smaller. I would also try to keep these fingers tense, aka straight, so that, because like when you do this pose, you foul creatures, your fingers don't have that like that like this finger's got it. This one is like really straight. That's I'm actually going to completely rotate these. In fact, this finger could even probably be pushed a little more. Now here, if you want to show the tops of the knuckles, do so, but only ever so slightly. That you really wouldn't see a whole huge, I don't think anyway. And then here, I would just do the faintest of bumps to show that the thumb is bent under. That's like x-ray vision where you can see the thumb. And then these fingers are like this on the other side. You just can't see them. Oh my god, this poor thing has like 400 filters over it just to help me see through. There we go. You may even want to... Again, I'm so nitpicky. I'm sorry, but I like to check out all avenues in this crazy mixed up world. I may even make these fingers like slightly longer, and let me get the tongue to break that. Just makes everything feel a little like, I don't know, finished or like detailed, or I don't know, get off my back. Okay, so let's work on the skateboard. So what I would do, because this is how I work, but these days when it comes to props and things, I tend to just be like, well, I am gonna build a model of that and render it and put it in my art or trace over it or something, because like I don't have time for that stuff. So, but we can give it a go, and I can give you like kind of a little rundown on how to do your very own props. Now, again, this is a more stylized skateboard. I'm gonna do it as though I'm doing it for like my own work, which is not so stylized. I like to go for realism, darling, but no, not really. So let's do some lines here and kind of figure out what we've... Now I have rotated it, and I'm just gonna warp these a little bit. Okay, this is not gonna be nearly the chug that I thought it might. You know what? I'm gonna do this slightly different, because I don't want to... I want to make it like a teaching tool. I don't want to just be like, okay, there you go, there's your skateboard. All right, so let's so this is going to be 1/2 of our board. Okay. So that's 1/2. All right. And then we're going to duplicate it. We're going to hit Control T. We're going to put a negative on our width so that it flips the whole thing over. Then we're just going to use our arrows and kind of bump it into place. There we go. And that is the basic layout of our board. Then we're going to bring it back, bring it back. We're going to hit Control T again. So we already have these guidelines. This is not how I would ink this, by the way. This is how I would sketch it. So we're gonna Control T or Control E to smoosh the two layers together. Then we're gonna duplicate this one more time, and this is to help us construct the edge that you can see of the skateboard. And I just bumped it, so we're gonna do it again. Just like that. Let me get a non-opacity heavy. Okay. I'm just going to erase those extra lines. So now we have the edge of the skateboard. And when you go to ink this, make sure that this edge is even all the way around. Like right here, it's a little too much. I would also look at a reference of a skateboard. I'm not saying this artist didn't or anything, but I didn't. So, yeah, you might want to look at a reference for a skateboard. Don't do what Emmy did. So, you know, I remember I always got a lot of questions about like, wow, your backgrounds have improved so much, or art has improved so much. Honestly, I don't want to say like 50%. I don't even want to say a percentage because I'm not good at math. But a big part of that was I started looking at references. So like I would have like an idea in my head. I'd be like, okay, a green military desk. What's that all about? What does that look like? You know, and if I tried to draw it myself, I would probably get close-ish. But there were details about like real green government desks. They're called tanker desks, by the way. There were real details about tanker desks that I had never noticed before. So I think looking at references for this kind of stuff is bee's knees. All right, so now that we know our central line, we know that the, what would you call this? The wheels, the whole undercarriage thing needs to be moved over a little bit. So like right there, see, because it's like a little off center. So what I would do here is I'm going to do another color. I'm just going to pick a blue. And I'm going to check my recording. Okay. And by the way, I apologize if this video starts to run a little long. So what I would do here is I would actually draw a box. This might be a little too much, but this is how we're gonna do it. I would draw a cube in perspective, extending up off of the board for like how deep you want your wheels, basically. And that this corner needs to be like a little back, like that. Just a little bit of perspective there. Okay. I know. Everybody's like, oh my god, like I can barely draw a wheel and you want me to draw a cube, but practice makes perfect. And let me real quick see what skateboard wheels look like. Well, they're like a thing, right? I don't have my phone, or I do. Let me look at my phone real quick. Look how extremely unprofessional. I actually don't know what like they're squared off the same way that the front wheels are, right? Like, I mean, there's like two on the back. Let me look at skateboard. Yes. Look how smart I am. Okay, so then I'm not even going to bother pushing this cube into the back, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the wheels on this side, and then we'll just like make a copy and put them back here. Okay, so here we go. So now we've got this. We're doing so many colors, but this is usually how I work on my sketches, so you're coming with me on the journey. So now we're going to draw one of our wheels in perspective. Again, look at real skateboard wheels, which I kind of know what they look like, but it's been 400 years since I've actually ridden on a skateboard, so. Okay. And then we're going to take this wheel and duplicate it. Just make it a little larger because it's coming towards us now. It's coming right for us. All right, and then we're gonna not turn the ruler on and off. We're gonna Control E, and then we're just gonna draw they're like teeny little white wall tires. Very cute. Okay, so we'll just draw the inner bolt mechanic kind of location, and then let's lock that layer off so we don't draw on it. And now I'm just gonna pick some other color and we're gonna draw the sort of hammerhead shark shape of the I'm trying to think of what the car term is. The suspension. It's not really a suspension on skateboards, I guess, though. It's just... Okay. So I think that's... I had to get super quiet because I was like, what am I doing? These tires need to go back a little further, though, because they're not lined up with the actual shape there. Alrighty. We're doing so good, you guys. I'm actually really proud because when I woke up this morning, I thought, I don't know what my red line is, but God, I hope it's easy. And it wasn't. No. So now that we've moved it back into perspective on the board, you can see the space here between the two, the edge of the guide cube for the whole wheel setup. We want that space to be reflected back here. So we're just going to make this a little smaller. Maybe push it back a little more. Because damn it, we spent all this time drawing these wheels and you want to be able to see them everywhere. Just fill the board with wheels. Ooh, what would that even look like? You couldn't do any tricks. It would just be like a centipede. Centipede board. Hot new thing. Some just fading, some of the skateboard lines. Okay, and then let's all collapse this down together, and there you go. That's a pretty nice looking skateboard, if I do say so myself. And then I'm gonna itch my temple. Then I just want to make sure that the board is actually kind of the same, like width or warp or angle. I don't know. Just touching it up a little bit there, and then put the character on top, and Bob's your uncle. Wait, which layer is this? That's the board. Let me label that board, actually. Board. And then I'm gonna, just for funsies, I'm gonna take you on the ride with me while I put a filter layer on it. So let me create clipping mask, and this is just so we can see. Oh, I'm so sad. My board's wheels get covered up in the final. The final piece, at least the back wheels. The front wheels you can still see. Front wheels leading the way. What am I thinking of? Hot Wheels? Hot Wheels leading the way. That sounds right. I don't think it was Polly Pocket leading the way. Okay. So, I love Polly Pocket. I had 100 million of those things when I was a kid. I had a pink cupboard, a pink and red cupboard that my mom let me paint that I kept them all in. Alrighty, so I think that is good. That's our red line. A little longer than normal just because of the props and me putzing around like a putzer. Maybe the only other thing that this is more like my bad than yours is this arm. I could just hear people in the Discord chat going, Emmy, no. Emmy, don't do it. I have a group Discord chat now for my comic trying human, but it's just kind of turned into like the we all get together and bullshit chat. But I was just talking about shopping carts in there like yesterday. But anyway, this elbow might be a little off. But hey, now look, you got this like great, excuse me, great negative space in here. Look at that nice negative space that you didn't even ask for. Anyway, I should stop touching it. Sorry for the flashing. Seizure warning. But I think we did some good work today. But you know, the bones were there. Had good bones. Good job. Good job, team. Okay, so thank you, Nia, for sending this in and allowing me to redline it in front of all yens. And if you have some red lines, please send them to emy.bitner at IntroducingEmy.com. It's my email address. It's on the banner of my YouTube site. It's usually everywhere. It's usually in the description. I'm starting to get a little thin on the red lines. I think I'm getting down to kind of like the last 4 or 5-ish. And then I'm going to start going back and looking at ones that I didn't get a chance to redline before. But they're older, and I'm not sure what like my permissions are on those drawings. So anyway, keep sending your Redline Tuesdays in, or your art to be on Redline Tuesday. Hey, if you want to record episodes of Redline Tuesday and send them in to me, no, don't do that because I'm not going to do it. Anyway, all right. And that'll be this episode. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.